now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello. Did you hear the vibrato in that?
No, I did not actually.
Oh my gosh, it was really, when you hear it back, you're going to be like,
I'm going to play it back and be
dang,
like, oh,
giddy, girl.
Should I just
Giddy,
submit
giddy,
this
giddy,
to
giddy.
the Grammys?
Yeah, to the American Idol Foundation for undiscovered singers. Yeah, that's where I want
The
to be
voice
put.
auditions?
We are
Love it.
coming to you. This is a special episode. As you know, when we first started this, we were telling you we have guests that will be coming each week or each month, a couple of guests. And we had a problem on our end, and so we ended up having to bump a guest, but we didn't want to leave you guys without a bonus episode in addition to the episode with Charlotte, who was our first guest. So
Renowned guest.
Renowned, one of
It'll be hard beating her.
our favorite guest ever that we've had so far.
The one of them.
And we're so excited about our other guests that are coming next month. So this is just a little stopgap. This is just to kind of, keep you guys a little active.
Keep you
so we're
interested.
interviewing each other.
Yes.
But we have a very fun paradigm in which we're doing so.
Yeah.
So you explain the general, or do you want me to explain the...
Well, let me get into it and where I got this idea from. One, this has been a TikTok trend over the last, few days. But my friend Caroline, who has a podcast that is a book club podcast called Overbooked. Shout out Caroline. She did her Roman Empire of books. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is my Roman Empire of pop culture moments? And then I immediately thought to text you and ask you. And then I was like, wait a minute. We have a forum for this.
Yes.
Now people have to listen to us talk about it.
Literally, future episodes will include our Dream Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip cast.
Oh, that's a good one.
Stephanie and I do this quite often where we get an idea of something and then that's like the next 2 hours of our existence.
2 days sometimes.
Bouncing back and forth on what to do. So I'm going to explain, this comes from People Magazine, because maybe some of you have heard like the whole Roman Empire thing and you're like, what is the history buffs up to today? Not that. So this is from People Magazine. How often do you think about the Roman Empire? That's the viral question that thousands of people are asking their boyfriends, husbands, fathers, and more as part of a new trend that is taking over TikTok. The trend began after the Swedish Instagram user Roman reenactor Arthur Hulu posted a reel on August 19th that said, ladies, many of you do not realize how often men think about the Roman Empire.
And apparently it's daily, weekly, monthly.
Yes, celebrities are weighing in, they're having their partners weigh in, and some people are like, I actually think of the Roman Empire almost every day.
Did you ask Steven yet?
No, I should. I'll ask him before this airs.
I asked Raven. I knew it would be a no. He was like, no, I don't think about it.
Do you think he knew the trend before you asked?
No, although he does know that sometimes I'll randomly ask him questions and he's like, what is happening on TikTok? Where I'm like, if I was a worm, would you still love me? And he's like, please get off TikTok. It's 2 a.m. And I'm like, but would you? So I did text him and say, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And he was like, what is happening on TikTok? And I was like, just answer the question. And he said none. So I was a little disappointed. But
the equivalent, what it's trying to say is, hey, for those of us that aren't regularly thinking or consistently thinking of the Roman Empire, what would be like the equivalent? What would be your Roman Empire? The things that you think of? And because this is a pop culture podcast, we thought we would give each other, we don't know what each other's Roman Empires are. We're going to surprise each other on the pod.
I will be one of them. I'm like, there is about an 80% chance this is on yours as well.
Yeah.
But that's just because our pop culture Roman Empire moments, I'm sure we've discussed in depth together before.
Yes.
So I'm hoping we are surprised, but I feel like both of these things will probably be like, oh yeah, no, that totally makes sense for you.
Yeah, totally. And keep in mind that this is be like a really fun exercise to do with your partner instead of it being like, okay, what's a pop culture event or what's a sporting event or whatever in your own world is something you think of like alarmingly frequently.
And to be fair, this is not like the pop culture moments that are like the best pop culture moments of the 2010s. Like these are like, to me personally, what do I reference?
Yes.
In literally everyday life.
And we decided, because the goal of the podcast is to be like an uplifting, positive, like weekly pick-me-up, we're not going to do any really sad moments in pop culture.
Yeah.
And so I have 2 honorable mentions,
though,
that
are
I
sad.
alarmingly think about like over and over and over again each week. The death of Princess Diana.
Oh, yeah.
I think of her dying all of the time. My mom growing up looked a lot like her. We have pictures of them together. My mom like loved Princess Diana, and I would think about how, like, who killed her, and then that goes into JonBenet Ramsey.
Oh,
that's also of someone that I think about. Like, they both wore crowns.
What a good call.
Like,
they're both wore crowns.
Yeah, like these are 2 women who we still don't know exactly how they died. We don't know who killed them.
The brother,
the queen, and so
the brother for JonBenet Ramsey.
The queen.
For, unless you're
Diana.
talking about the brother Charles, in which he did it.
Yeah. So allegedly. So they. Yeah.
As
don't
if
come
it's
for us.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Disclaimer. And so we're not picking those, but those are my 2 honorable mentions. Did you have an honorable mention or 2?
I have honorable mentions that are a lot more pop culture and not as sad. Okay. So good. Maybe I'll just save them for the end, and we can give those 2 sad ones their moment.
Okay. So those are kind of that's like the vibe, right? Like that way you understand what we're talking about. Like, how often do I think about Diana dying? Anytime I'm driving in a tunnel. Yeah. I think of like, oh my gosh, whenever I see like paparazzi, I'm like, don't kill them. Don't. Like, I actually think of Princess Diana dying a lot. And then JonBenet Ramsey, just because I watch a lot of like
true crime.
I watch a whole bunch of stuff.
You watch a lot of Toddlers and Tiaras, and you're like,
I live for Toddlers and Tiaras.
What if these little girls got murdered?
Yeah, true. Who's the next JonBenet? Now, you're the lady, and younger, because we are kind of in different pop culture demographics in some ways.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see each other's, but I will let you go first, my queen.
All right. My first one, I'm really excited for. Okay. And I did run these by Traven, my husband, before I came here, and he was like, I have had you talk to me personally about these things 80 times since I've known you, so cool. You made good choices. My very first one is the Drag Race season finale with Shea Couleé and Sasha Velour lip-syncing to So Emotional. When Sasha Velour lifts up her wig
after she'd taken off both of her gloves in which petals came out.
The way, if you guys have not seen this, Google it, okay?
Yeah.
That's not my problem. You have to go watch it. Sasha Velour is known as a bald drag queen because of her mom who had cancer, and so he does it to represent her. So when she came out on stage with a wig, it was like, oh, this is an interesting choice. Come to find out, she has rose petaled tucked in every nook and cranny of her body that she just
not the only thing tucked
reveals. I'm gonna
just
let that
say
one
it.
sit.
Now, here's the thing. For those of you, so Steven and I got into Drag Race during COVID.
Yes.
And I think we got you into it then. Did I? Was Maybe. I your gateway into it?
You might have been.
I remember watching it, and we would almost invariably watch that season finale as like a whet your appetite, get you excited because it was so good. And Shea Couleé all season was like by far the best. Like, she was for sure going to win. Going into the finale, she was destined to win.
Oh, 100%.
And how they do Drag Race is that they film the season and then they have a live finale that's maybe recorded like a day or 2 prior to it actually airing. It's really, really tight. So they'll have a whole window. And so the whole season, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, Shea Couleé is going to totally take this. Yeah. And then you see the gag on RuPaul's face Sasha Velour lifts her wig up, her red wig with the bright red lipstick, and then rose petals fall out, and the crowd goes bananas.
Everyone stands up out of just complete shock. It gives me full body chills. I could watch it on repeat right now, and I would get full body chills every single time I watch it. Every live performance, I think about it. Every Drag Race episode, I think about it. Like, you can't erase that from my brain.
Yes.
So that is my very first one.
Okay, mine's a little different. I hope I did this assignment correctly. Because I was trying to think of what are pop culture.
And you're going to be like, and when 9/11 happened, and I'm going to be like,
like Princess Diana. Okay, I think of Not My Daughter, You Bitch in Harry Potter.
I just probably blew out the mic. That is such a good one. I think of that moment.
I remember feeling, now for those of you that don't know, get a life. Okay, no, for those of you that don't know, this is from Harry Potter. Yeah, 100%. This is Harry Potter. This is Deathly Hallows Part 2, the final movie. This is Molly Weasley fighting Bellatrix Lestrange in Hogwarts in the dining hall when Bellatrix is they're
attacking Ginny.
Yep, and Molly Weasley starts to fight her. And then it's like she gets a little bit scared, and then it's dun dun dun, not my daughter, you bitch, and then whoopsh, and then poof, Avada Kedavra, goodbye, Bellatrix Lestrange. Even saying it right now, I just gave myself chills. Yep. That is a moment that I think of.
I would have never thought of that, but you are so right. I think of that every Harry Potter reference. I think of that
all the time. I do not think of Harry Potter and I loved Harry Potter. My younger brother Pierce and I would go to the bookstores when the books would be released really late at night, and we would be getting the copies of the books that had the stickers that said this was one of the first ones off of the truck or whatever. Yeah, we just loved. My mom would take us out of school to go to the movie premieres. This is before you could have reserved seating, so we would wait in line at Jordan Commons to be able to see the movies.
What a treacherous experience that was.
Not really, because you're seeing Harry Potter. You're gonna. Where's
the toad noises?
Yeah, I just love. Harry Potter is such a huge part of like my pop culture kind of lens in which I view the world. And so to have it be now where like if I were to distill down the incredible series that is Harry Potter, unmatched in my book, I think of her, not my daughter.
You know what's bitch. So funny? I almost picked a Harry Potter reference when he is in, I think it's the Half-Blood Prince. And he is talking with Dumbledore in the office, and he goes, "Look at me." Right after that, "What's wrong with me?" And I saw that movie with a friend who very loudly goes, "Puberty," in our theater. We got a lot of laughs, but I'll never forget it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my first Roman Empire is like, how often do I think of that fight scene? And I'm actually going to say the whole fight scene, that whole end fight scene. I think of it a lot whenever I'm driving. I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes when I'm driving and I see that the light is red and then I'll like act like I have magic and then I switch it green. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, totally.
You don't? No. Oh my gosh. You driving up and be like, I'm going to be a wizard. And then try to change it. And when it happens, I'm not kidding you, serotonin boost, mood elevated.
I get the serotonin boost when I get a green arrow.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, ooh.
You're like,
I'm better than everyone. Okay, my second one. What's so funny is I'm realizing now I'm like all of our references, a lot of my references are like TV movies. So we're going back to TV.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're going to talk about Kelly Clarkson on American Idol. And no, not a moment like this. Her finale singing as she won. We're going to talk about Piece by Piece.
Oh.
When she performed Piece by Piece on the final, in quotation marks, season of American Idol. In that
so funny.
Black dress.
Yep.
The single tears from the audience members, from the contestants. Keith Urban barely keeping it together.
J-Lo breaking
and her eyelashes.
Face. Yes, Ryan Seacrest also trying. He's sitting next to the judges. Harry Connick Jr.
J-Lo was like, if I ruin my makeup,
she was like, hold on.
Get pissed. She was holding on so hard. When Kelly has to stop singing for a second and she just goes and breathes off to the side and goes, sorry, and keeps singing.
Dead.
Gagged.
Yes.
I probably watch that 4 times a year.
Okay, and you know what now you have to watch it with? Have you seen her new version of Piece by
Oh,
Piece?
yes.
Post-divorce.
Post-divorce. It is spicy. It is everything we want it to be.
It's amazing.
When she got divorced, that American Idol performance was the very first thing I thought about. I was like, oh, but you wrote that song about your daughter and about him.
Yes.
Like, I immediately was distraught. And of course, she's redone it in a way that makes it perfect. And you have to watch both.
Yes, agreed. That is such a good one because I remember watching that live. And then I remember showing everybody who breathes.
Everyone.
A version of it on my phone. I remember like making my kids sit and watch it with me and being like, this is what beauty looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is such a good
My
moment.
mom and I watched it together on our couch when, you know, TiVo was just barely probably started. No, it'd probably been around. But like, I remember we got like 5 seconds into the song and like paused it and both were immediately like had welled up tears in our eyes to the point where we're like, okay, start it over. And then when Keith Urban is crying, we're crying. Like, we were physically unwell. And I think about that all the time. Like, I will not forget it.
Yeah, that is such a good one.
Yes.
That did not make my list, but it should have. Because
Yeah,
I think of it all the time. If I'm on YouTube, I have like a playlist of just like songs that get me in my feels so I can watch the performances. And I think that's number 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my number 2 is Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston split because of Angelina Jolie and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Here's why I think of it all the time. I think of it for a couple of reasons. One, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was the last movie I saw before I served an LDS mission. And so I played that movie in my mind's eye over and over and over again.
That's a good
which
one.
Which made me seemingly be team Angelina Jolie, right? Because I was like, look at their chemistry and you shouldn't deny love. Then when I realized what it really cost and I saw Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt together at the Emmys, like 4 years ago, where he like goes to reach for her hand and the internet died.
Yeah.
Humanity held their breath. I was like, oh my gosh. And then, so I think of it all the time, not only because it's been permanently ingrained in my brain. I really like the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it also serves as like a very cautionary tale to that the grass ain't always greener on the other side.
And you know what? Like, I truly believe were Endgame. I think that if Brad Pitt wasn't a stupid man who is easily tempted, then they would have been together for the long haul.
Yep, agreed.
And I just feel like, how did you not see that this woman was crazy? Like, Angelina Jolie had already had a history of, you know, Billy Bob Thornton kissing her brother. Like, this was a crazy woman.
Yes.
That you involved yourself with so that she could have a reformed, gorgeous image. And then you messed up the love of your life. And I think he knows that.
Right. And I think that haunts him.
And
so whenever I see him or when I think of like, don't mess up something good you have, I think of the Brad, Angelina, Jennifer kind of like history.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. Okay, my third final one was really hard to fill the spot. I have a lot of honorable mentions after this. I'll get to.
Okay.
My third one is the Lizzie McGuire movie. When she goes to Rome.
Interesting. Okay.
And she becomes a pop star. I think it fueled my love for Italy, but there's so many great quotes from that movie. Obviously, the finale song, "This is what dreams are made of."
True.
When she is facing the crowd, everybody's going to know what I'm talking about. I swear, if you've seen this movie. When she is facing the crowd and there is a body double and she does this like shimmy arm shake facing this fake coliseum filled with people. And yeah, I think about that movie all the time. I wish I could watch it every day. I think of Miss Ungermeyer, the teacher who was like guiding them through Italy when she calls Gordo a sneaky little brown noser with a hidden agenda. I could quote that every day.
I'm glad you're seated for what I'm about to say.
Okay. You've never seen it?
I have never seen the Lizzie McGuire movie.
No.
Yes. Should I put it on a play? Obviously I should put it on a list. Don't be mad. Guys, the tension just skyrocketed in this little studio.
No, if you do watch it, you have to watch it with me.
Okay.
Even when I was in Italy on my study abroad, in the movie, they make it seem like the Spanish Steps lead down to the Trevi Fountain. And when I went to Italy on my study abroad, when we went to the Trevi Fountain, I did know that the Spanish Steps weren't there. I'm not fully an idiot, but I did say to my instructor to agitate him, where are the Spanish Steps? In the Lizzie McGuire movie, the Spanish Steps are right here. And he was like, that's a movie. And I was like, well, it is my Bible, so I don't know what else to tell you. Sing to me, Paolo. I could go on and on right now. I'm so disappointed in you that you haven't seen it, but I understand.
Remember how at the beginning you're like, we're gonna have the same ones, and then I was like, I've never actually seen Lizzie McGuire movie. Not only like it didn't make my list, I didn't know it really. Like I knew it existed, but
to be fair, I think given our very small age gap, you're barely older than me. I think you missed Lizzie McGuire.
I did. I think Disney she's Channel. In like a gap.
Yeah.
A pop cultural gap.
But just with a few years, you probably would have caught the end of her.
Yeah.
But the Lizzie McGuire movie, even despite not having seen any Lizzie McGuire episodes, stands the test of time.
Okay.
Not to mention, it does take place in Rome, so it is my Roman Empire.
That is such a good way to round out the Roman Empire on your side. You know what? It's so funny. I'll have to watch that without my kids because I learned, I don't know if other people listening have this sad realization, but we can't watch old movies that I loved growing up with my kids because they think they're stupid. And they for sure ruined Camp Nowhere. They definitely ruined Camp Heavyweights. I get it's problematic, but it was hilarious.
Is hysterical. Undeniably.
They hated ladybugs, which is so sad for me. I loved watching that soccer movie all the time. They refused, they absolutely refused to watch the second Sister Act after they watched the first, which is probably better because they almost ruined the first.
Bailey watched both. I was so proud of her.
But was she upset? She was like,
she loved it. She likes musicals. She did not like Newsies though, and I was like, disowned. Because have you seen Christian Bale in that movie? Have you seen Spot Colin? How can you not
be obsessed?
Love this movie? Seize the Day?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think I will. So I will have to watch that just with you, and yes. I promise we will watch it and we'll return and give the podcast feedback.
We'll get Italian sodas. We'll get
gelato.
I love
you. Make it a whole
Harmon's.
Vibe. I will come and I will wear an Italian shirt.
Done. I'll rent out a movie theater if you tell me to. I love this movie.
Oh my gosh, should we rent out a movie theater and we give 50 of our listeners we have to find a couple more, but we give all of the listeners and we're like, hey, we're gonna watch Lizzie McGuire movie in the theater. Let's actually look and see how hard it would be to renting. It's not the problem. I've done that.
They're like, you want to watch the Lizzie
that's
McGuire
gonna be
movie?
the problem.
Like,
they're like, I don't think we have rights to that. They dust off something. I think this is the Lizzie McGuire movie. Okay, my third one is a movie.
Okay.
I have to set the stage.
Please.
I love Marvel movies. I love them. I've watched every single one of them in the theaters, oftentimes going the day it comes out.
I've gone with you.
Literally.
We went to Endgame together.
Nope, we didn't. We did.
I
went to Endgame 4 times in the theater. But the first time I went opening night, and I went at 12 o'clock at night.
You went with Steven.
I went with Steven.
Then you brought me the next time.
I brought you as the next day. I did a 12 o'clock showing, and then we did an evening showing on that Saturday. I am not well when it comes to Marvel. Yeah. I love them.
Okay.
I watched Endgame with Steven. I bought us matching Avengers Stance socks. This episode could be sponsored by Stance. And I bought midnight tickets because it was like 11:40 or whatever else tickets. And Steven had done a gig, and this is really early on in dating. And so I did not realize like how exhausted he would be after gigs and how hard that would be. And anyway, and I guilt the hell out of him to come to the movie. I have my Avengers shirt on.
Yeah.
The theater is sold out.
Yeah.
And
what does this man
losers do? The losers, including myself, are all like waiting on bated breath for the show to start. As soon as the opening scene comes up, applause, right? Like multiple times there's applause throughout the movie. My wonderful person,
we love him so much,
fell asleep. He was out. We were in luxury seats, to be fair. We were in the box, so we were separate from everyone else. And it was like 1 a.m. I get it. There were certain factors that could lead someone to believe that that was an okay decision, even though it was absolutely not. And so I am watching. I don't even care.
No.
Rewind. Leading up to it, he was like, hey, let's watch a couple of the Avengers movies to get ready for Endgame.
Like,
so I know what's going on.
Sorry.
And I was like,
we are going to have to go through 18 movies.
22.
Wow, I was really close.
So close. But I was like, I won't do that with you because I know that it will make me love you less because you'll be like, wait, what? Who's that? And I'll have to like explain, like, I've been a part of this story for over a decade.
Yes.
These are people that have like burned into my core.
Yeah.
And I'm having to be like, so here's the thing about Black Widow. Like, we're going to learn more about her.
Is actually from
100%. I mean, like when we talk about Winter Soldier, it's really complicated. And why was there a war and whatever. Yeah. So I am like, I gave him very little to go off of. I gave him like 10,000 foot view. And I think we may have watched Infinity War before.
Yeah.
That may have been the extent of the only. So he had no context, but I am hooked. And this is a spoiler alert. Because I learned how to do spoiler alert. So if you have not seen Avengers Endgame, I'm about to ruin something for it. So click forward 4 minutes. At the very end, when Captain America and Thor and Hulk are fighting Thanos, and they're getting their butts kicked, we know the scene on your left, Captain America... And we see the Doctor Strange.
I'm doing the Doctor Strange.
She's doing it. You can't see it. She's doing the circles.
I forgot.
And then you hear and you see Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther come out. And I yell in the theater, Wakanda, bitch! Like, and it just so happens that when in that part of the movie, it's like, cap on your left. Cap on your left, and it's like meant to be like mimicking what he's actually hearing in his earpiece. So it's not like dun dun dun. No, it's not crescendoing. It's very quiet, except for me, who's providing surround sound. It was more like this movie is in Dolby surround sound with asterisks with Chase Walker giving commentary because I yell, "Wakanda, bitch!" and it wakes Steven up.
He stirs.
He's like, whoa. He like shoots forward. It is now at this point because the movie is so long. It's like 2 a.m.
Screaming.
People are cheering so loudly that now I Wakanda bitch. Anytime I surprise Steven, anytime something is good, I Wakanda bitch.
You jump out of the dark. I am like,
Wakanda bitch. Like if something's really good, Wakanda bitch. If something's crazy, Wakanda bitch. Like it is now that moment, that scene, and I kid you not. If I want to cry, you know how we had an episode about if you want to cry, and we talked about I Am Sam and Moulin Rouge.
You watched that portion of
the reality actually that will absolutely make me cry is the TikToks of the audience's reaction for seeing it on opening night when it happens. Have you seen that where people are freaking out?
I think
that was me.
I think we need to bring that energy to October 13th, which is when you and I will be seeing the Taylor Swift Eras tour in the movie theaters. I do think that is the energy that we need to come with for that.
Agreed.
So when are we making friendship bracelets, and what are we dressing up as? Which era? Because I guess we could just wear our
Here's the thing.
merch.
Yeah. But I was thinking about it. They have this really cute shirt that's all the different eras,
We
but
should
as
get
ghosts for Halloween, for October, and it's specifically for the movie release.
Why haven't you ordered it yet?
Well, because I was nervous about...
Send me a link.
Well, I was just nervous, like, are we going to be the only ones?
No.
But then I was like, probably
the girlies who are seeing this on October 13th. Also, if we have to be the Wakanda bitches in that theater to get this theater going.
Oh, I don't think that'll be a problem. I think, honestly, the Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift is an honorable mention for me as well. Being at the Eras tour with my daughter.
Oh, that's true.
VMAs, like, I think of that moment. I think of what she gifted literally hundreds of thousands of people. I had a
lot of recency bias because I was like, the Barbie movie, I have literally thought about every single day since I saw it.
Got it. Okay.
Also, Eras Tour kind of plays into that. Beyonce, like, in the year of the Barbie movie, that has forever changed me, but we'll see how it affects me through the years.
Yeah. That's probably where I put her as an honorable mention for me, because I was like, I know prospectively looking, I will forever think of my daughter singing and cheering and dancing and both hands up. Like, it's such a core memory. It's in the flavor of Wakanda bitch. It's in the flavor of not my daughter, you bitch. Actually, I'm realizing that there's kind of a bitchy theme about things that are like my Roman Empire.
And we're not swearing because that's a quote.
Yeah, it's not swearing. And
okay, I have my honorable mentions. There's a few of them. One, the photos of Britney Spears after she shaved her head.
And it has the umbrella. That was almost in mine too, because sometimes when I go out to the car late at night, I think, like, do I look like Britney Spears getting into my car? And when I open the car door, if it's locked, and I'm like, and I do it like 2 or 3 times, I think of when she tried to open the door
and it was jammed.
And then used the umbrella and was trying to break into that. Okay,
second, the Beyonce Lemonade album tandem with The Elevator. Jay-Z,
very good.
Solange, and Beyonce in an elevator.
Okay.
And then Beyonce drops an album about Jay-Z cheating. Like,
I just don't think of that a whole lot because I'm not in the Beehive, so I don't really think about Beyonce a lot. But you know what I do think of if I think of Beyonce? I think of her disclosing her baby at that she was
in the
pregnant.
Flowers? At the VMAs.
At the VMAs to Love on Top, when she opens her jacket and then holds her baby. I think that's actually a very beautiful way. Like, that's a very happy Beyonce movie.
I thought it was better than her floral centerpiece.
For sure.
That she sat with her twins. My very last one, and this is niche, I think. Do you remember Renee Zellweger in like 2014 came to an event and had a completely new face and acted like she didn't have plastic surgery?
No.
Then she disappeared for like, I don't know, 2 years and came back and looked like herself again. I'm going to show you the picture.
Okay. Is this the before or after?
Wait,
which one's the before? On the left?
The before is on the left.
That's Bridget Jones's Diary. Who's the woman on the right?
Her.
That's Renee Zellweger again?
Her. It's her.
Wait, what happened to her eyes?
It was literally one event that she went to in 2014 where she came out looking like a freaking new person. Like a body double came in her.
That is like the Avril Lavigne. Like, she's dead and then reappears and you're like, that's not really her.
It is crazy. Look up Renee Zellweger 2014 and you will find these photos where you are like, that's not her.
Yes.
Then she got so much press about it because people were like, plastic surgery has gone too far.
Yes.
You don't look like yourself anymore.
Fully.
And she has such an iconic face that then like 2 years later she comes back and people are like, oh, that's Renee Zellweger. And now she looks like herself again. She still claims that she did not get any plastic surgery.
No.
Laughable.
Delusional.
But I think about any time I see a before and after, I'm like, ooh, is that Renee? Are you going to be like Renee? You're going to look like a new person.
Okay, I have one more honorable mention, and then we're doing our outfit.
Okay.
There's one Roman Empire. What is the outfit you think of in pop culture all the time? And I bet we picked the same outfit, because if you didn't pick mine, it was definitely not right. My other honorable mention is very niche as well.
Okay.
Modern Family. We love Modern Family in my house. We think of it all the time. The episode where Mitch and Cam are at the park. A football is thrown, and the guy says, "Oh, can you throw that back to me?" Meaning, like, will you please throw it back to me? And Cam interprets that as like, what? You think because we're gay, we can't throw a football? And so he throws a football. Do you remember this episode? No. He throws a football and it hits an old man riding a bike, and it knocks the man over. And Cam and Mitch had been having this whole conversation about like the femininity of homosexuals and whether or not like that makes them gay or whether or not they should be more manly because they're men or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like they're kind of having this cultural conversation, which is why it comes up as my Roman Empire a lot.
Yeah.
But so Cam's like, yeah, I played football and whatever else. And then he starts running to him. And he goes, and he has his hands kind of up. And so then Mitch yells, Cam,
it just came back
hands.
To me. And
he puts his hands down. Steven and I Cam hands each other all the time whenever like things are a little bit like when we're being a little gay, like extra gay, and it's like Cam hands. Like when we're being a lot, we're Cam hands. I think of that all the time. That first off, like as a gay person, that's something that I think of a lot of. Like, should I be more masculine or feminine? And like what does that all mean? What is that? What is that? Does it make me more gay? Should I tone it down? Yeah. I'm in court, I'm on a deposition, whatever. Like you're navigating different things. So I think of it in that context, but I also just think of it in terms of Steven and I like gay checking each other a lot, like Cam hands, we're like, oh yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
So that's my honorable mention. It is such a funny, like if you were to say how often do you think of Cam hands, it's without question once a week.
Yeah.
Same with all of these. I mean, the one that's probably on my list, the one that's probably the least is the Brad and Angelina and Jennifer.
Yeah, but it did change how you thought about celebrity couples.
For sure. Like, it's such an important one, I think, of celebrity couples. The other ones, the end scene in Harry Potter, and then the Wakanda and in Endgame, and then definitely Cam hands, once a week.
Yeah.
I think of that stuff, without exaggeration, once a week.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do our, what is an outfit you think of? We're going to say it at the same time to see if we say the same one.
I don't think because there's
one outfit that if you do not think of it, like it's missed opportunity.
That's fair. I'm gonna go first because now I'm scared of what yours is.
No. We're gonna say it at the same time.
I don't think it's the same.
Okay,
now.
fine. You go first.
All right, I'm gonna go first because you're scaring me.
Okay.
Mine is Beyonce's Met Gala look in 2015. That's
don't know
not
her.
Yours.
Not mine.
Don't know her.
I don't know that look. Are you gonna pull it up?
Oh, it's up.
Okay, fire.
The high pony.
The barely clothed, lots of sequin
Bejeweled.
In like a organza.
I literally had this picture as my home screen background. This one for years.
Wow. Okay. We'll put that up as we're going to actually do a poll. Which is more a Roman Empire? Beyonce's Met Gala look or, and are you ready?
I'm ready.
The meat dress. Lady Gaga, the meat dress.
So I almost did this one.
I'm so surprised you didn't pick that one. That of all outfits, because we already, when Stephanie had said to me, hey, we're going to do an outfit, she referenced the J-Lo Versace
and that would have been
dress.
The
that
one.
would have been like an absolute iconic contender for, I think of that outfit a lot. Like that is for sure. It's referenced a lot. It's referenced a lot in RuPaul.
Yeah.
And pop culture. And then she re-wore it recently at a Versace show. Like, for sure, that was a really, really good example. So then I was like, okay, well, if we're not picking that one, a dress that I'm just like, incredible.
My only thing with Lady Gaga meat dress is that, like, I think I actively try and suppress that from my memory. Like, it's so gross.
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I'm like, ugh, you're wearing meat.
Yeah, here's where I think of it. I think of, because why she wore the meat dress is because she said, people were treating me like I was a piece of meat and asking me about what I was wearing. In her documentary, 5'2".
I haven't seen that.
It's really, really good. So she says, I wore that because I was so sick of people treating me like all I was a piece of meat. They didn't care about what music I was working on. They didn't care about how I was emotionally doing. All they cared about who was I wearing. So she's like, I just figured they were treating me like a piece of meat. If all they cared about was me being a piece of meat, I thought I'll just wear
that's
meat.
Kind of amazing.
So whenever I see celebrities on the red carpet now, and I think of them being like, who are you wearing? Who are you wearing? Or interviews, I often think back of her messaging saying, you're going to treat me like a piece of meat, I'll just wear an entire meat dress.
That is actually a good call. The other one that I did think of was the yellow dress from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Kate Hudson at the end of that movie. When you're so vain in that yellow dress and bun. Maybe it's because my favorite color is yellow, but like, I think about that dress all the time.
I love it. I love this exercise. Thank you so much for thinking of this for us to do.
And shout out again to Caroline from Overbooked Podcast.
Caroline,
she did her Roman Empire books, and I was like, wow, this is a good idea. I'm gonna steal it.
And we're gonna put a prompt on our feed on all social media platforms. The Good Bad Advice podcast. Everywhere you get social media, and then Good Bad Advice podcast, and then Good Bad Podcast for YouTube. But we'll put a prompt on there that says we want to know what everybody's pop culture Roman Empire is, and you can do 2 or 3 if you want to, like we did. And if you include a look that is your Roman Empire outfit, we're interested as well. We are so thankful you guys tuned in this Monday for us. We hope that as you're driving to work, you think about your Roman Empire, what it is. It's great. Water cooler conversation, get it started, and then we will see you in just a couple of days for our weekly episode of the Good Bad Advice podcast.
Bye.
Bye.